Turkish troops are now in Kabul, or will be soon, paid for by the United States to fight the war against terror. Why is Turkey offering troops? In fact, they were the first country to offer the U.S. troops for Afghanistan, and they explained why. It was ingratitude, because the United States was the only country that was willing to provide them with massive support for their own huge terrorist atrocities in southeast Turkey in the last few years. It's not ancient history. In fact, it's still going on. They carried out some of the worst atrocities of the 1990s, I mean, far beyond anything that Milosevic was accused of in Kosovo, were carried out about the same time in southeastern Turkey against maybe a quarter of the population, Kurds, who were horribly repressed, and millions of them were driven out of their homes, thousands of villages destroyed, maybe tens of thousands killed, every imaginable kind of barbaric torture. Clinton was pouring arms in. I mean, Turkey became the leading arms recipient in the world outside of Israel and Egypt, which are a different category. As the atrocities escalated through the 90s, aid from the Clinton administration increased. In the single year, 1997, 1 year, Clinton provided more arms to the Turkish military than the entire Cold War period combined up to the onset of the counterinsurgency. Well, it took a lot of discipline here in the United States for the press to shut up about this. I mean, here they're talking about, terrible atrocities going on in the Balkans by these bad Serbs and others. Meanwhile, right on the border, how can we stand it if right on the borders of NATO some terrible thing is happening? Try to find an article which said right within the borders of NATO even worse things are happening, and you're paying for it. Not just the United States, Germany involved, Britain and others, but primarily the Clinton administration. Although the U.S. was the primary funder of Turkey, Germany was the second. What about that? Everyone's worried about stopping terrorism. Well, it's a really easy way. Stop participating in it. I mean, that alone will reduce the amount of terrorism in the world by an enormous quantity. It's true of just about every country that I know to varying degrees, but dramatically true for the U.S., and Britain, and Germany, and others. The Kurdish political parties, to a certain extent, are a cover for the PKK and kind of function in that way. It happens repeatedly. Say El Salvador, there was a guerrilla organization, FMLN, which the U.S. Fought bitterly against. I mean, El Salvador was a monstrosity in the 1980s with the U.S.-backed war against the guerrillas. They are now they now have political power. There are ways of changing these things. The Kurds should always remember their famous slogan that the Kurds have no friends except the mountains.